Present.
Rick? John?
Here.
Kevin?
Here.
Excuse.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion for consent agenda?
So moved.
Need a motion to a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public input. This is the time and place for discussion items not already on the agenda with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Discussion and possible action in reference to bids for well number 5 treatment facility.
We received bids last week, 6 bidders, pretty good range in here, from about 977,000 to just under 1.2 million. Looking over the bids, I'm going to recommend that we table this. We've been trying to talk to some of the suppliers, most notably the controls integrator. If you look at that number, that's item 124. We're looking at adding this as another site to our existing system. Didn't feel there was a lot of cost to that. Sometimes what you'll see is the controls integrator will pick off the control panel, the VFD, and some of the electrical equipment. It's my understanding from talking with the general contractors that that number is pretty similar across those. They have the VFD and the control panel in there, but that doesn't seem to reflect the value they have in it. So I'd like to have some further discussion with them to find out what that is. That number seems to be driving quite a bit of the overage. And then there are just some other items in here that are a little bit high in some spots. I wanted to talk with the contractors to find out if some additional clarification might help. One of the numbers is with respect to the grading. You'll see the low bidder has 25,000 on there. We had asked that the contractor that was doing the work out at the Sportsplex go ahead and grade this site for us, rough grade it, so all that was left was to dig the footings and spread that dirt on site. That seems a little bit high for what's left over. So maybe some additional clarification there would help if we were to put this back out in addition to trying to get technicals integration number down. Have an opportunity to get a fair amount of that difference from our 750,000 estimate to this 977,000 bid. Hopefully close that gap quite a bit if we were to do that, but I wanted to talk with them first and make sure that my assumptions are correct, and I haven't to get over the people that I need to make that decision.
So like that control, is that just like they call one company to do that?
We had been working with Electric Pump on past controls integration. They're familiar with the system, and we had written them in as the controls integrator. Typically what we do with most communities is if there's somebody that has a good familiarity, you have a good relationship with them, they're available for on-call during emergencies and outages. We just stay with that group. We had some discussion with them up front, felt it was a pretty small scope of work, and we could get a decent price from them. This leaves a lot of questions in my mind as to why there's such a large number, so that's one of the main things I'd like to get sorted out.
You just want to table this right now?
Motion to table this bid approval.
A motion to a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Dave. Public hearing for changes to Chapter 41, Public Health and Safety. Need a motion to go to public hearing?
So moved.
A motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So this is for the fireworks ordinance, specifically 41.13. With the new state code, our current language is it shall be unlawful for any person or entity to use or explode any fireworks within the city limits. So we needed to add except as allowed by state code or state law behind it, which allows people to set them off during specific times, and there's nothing we can do to stop that. So that's part one, and then part two, we reached out to the insurance company, and they suggested those increases for personal injury, property damage, and total exposure for insurance for those that have that.
Any questions? Any motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
A motion to a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First reading of ordinance 03-2025, update to fireworks.
Move to approve.
And a motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Nate?
Aye.
Rick? John?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Correspondence?
I don't have anything.
I got a letter or card here from the Friends of the Lisbon Public Library, just thanking us for the donation of $1,000 for the Valley Park Imagination Library. Christina put this up on the board. Nothing else? City engineer?
I don't have anything additional to report. I think Travis is more familiar with work going on at the industrial park since they're installing the facility, so available for questions. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions? Public works?
Start with the industrial park, where Dave left off. We're should be finishing with the sewer portion of that stuff and start on water. And hopefully by the end of this week, we'll be set to start working on grading for the street work. Splash pad, just make sure you guys, we're all still on the same page as the last day being the end of this month. So Sunday it'll be closed at normal time and won't be open until next year. Also with the temperatures as low as they are, I'm gonna have Marcia post on Facebook to let everybody know that for the rest of this week, we won't be opening till noon instead of the 10 o'clock, just give a chance to warm up a little bit more. With school starting, there wasn't anybody around today anyway, so go with that. Other than that, that's it.
Any questions for Travis?
Thanks.
Works and Rec?
We had a successful movie in the park over sauerkraut days, and we had back to school night the following week on Wednesday, and that was a success as well. Other than that, we started flag football today, and we'll start soccer tomorrow. And so that'll be going on at the complex for the next month and a half. And then the next things will be Halloween Town in October on Halloween, and girls basketball will start at sometime in October, towards the end of October, early November.
Anything with grading? Library?
All right,
Police department?
We had essentially a successful sauerkraut days, no major problems. Do apologize for the miscommunication on the shutdown of the bar. We're currently hiring for an officer, so we're going through that process right now. That'll close September 5th. Other than that,
Anything for Jason? Ambulance?
No.
Fire chief?
I went to Alexis, Illinois last week. The truck chassis, as you know, is in Alexis, Illinois. There's a lot of options that they have that you kind of have to see the truck to see where you want shelving. They have a light package. Obviously it's in Illinois, so their lights are different. We have the blue here, they don't have that over there, so had to go through all that. We're going to be doing some hose testing soon, which will kind of correspond with that. I want to do the hose testing to see what we have on hand, so we don't have to buy, outfit a whole new truck. The whole goal is to hopefully we have enough hose in-house that passes certification so that we can put it on the new truck. Bathtub races were very successful. About $2,000 profit from that. Nearly 5,000 balloons were sold for that. And then we have our pancake breakfast on Monday from 6 to 11. That's here at the fire station. That's it.
Anything for fire chief? City administrator?
Today I was making my rounds, I just noticed the kids were walking to school, and I know they have this cell phone policy in school, so it seemed like all the kids were walking with their head down, getting their last few minutes of phone time. Just be cautious at crossings and crosswalks. There's one kid that just crossed in front, never even looked. a stop sign, but just be cautious of that. We'd hate to have an accident. I'm planning to meet with Patricia from Alliant in reference to their gas project. I have not seen Q3 back in town since sauerkraut days, and the seeding window is now open through September 30th, so I would like them to start getting the grass and stuff planted and growing again. I know I've been taking several phone calls on it, so I just want to get a status update, and I plan to do that this week. There's a number of building permits that are ongoing right now, which is a good thing, and there's also a lot of calls about people wanting some property out in the industrial park. Obviously, we don't own that, but we have a sign for us to call, but since the elite building has gone up, there's been a lot of interest out in that area, which I think ultimately could be a good thing for Lisbon. The guys have been working with painting, crosswalks, and lines. We're not done yet, but one thing is we worked with the school, did their parking lots, and in return they come and wax our floor here in City Hall, so it's a pretty good trade-off for that. We don't have any of the equipment to do that. Been working with several people on the downtown reinvestment grant. One is going to be approved hopefully at the next meeting, and then there'll be another one that we'll be meeting with this week. And 150th and Sauerkraut Days was very successful. They kind of start tracking volunteer hours. 150 volunteers it takes to put on something like that. And well attended, like I said, very successful. Friday night, we did have severe weather move in. We had a plan in place from early that day. It was Chief Blink's eye, the Sauerkraut Days Committee. And so one thing we did do at their request, we contacted EMA. They had a report of a high wind northwest of us that was coming this direction. They cleared downtown, but there were still some people around. So we did activate the old siren, which is just the downtown, so probably it didn't reach more than 8-10 blocks away. But we did do that, and we made sure we got the post out right away on social media that it was more or less just a take shelter warning. We didn't have the voice activation of a tornado warning. We did reach out to EMA prior to that. He said that was our call on that. We wanted to do that, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. So we all made the decision to go ahead and do that. But again, other than that, people ended up coming back down that night, so it was a pretty good evening. So that's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for Brandon. Christina?
We completed the city audit last week. It was very successful. It went over very well, 2 days in and out. And next I'll be working on the street finance report and the annual financial report.
Anything for Christina? Jake?
I don't really have anything other than just thanking all the committees for the 150th and Sauerkraut Days and city workers and Brandon and police force and everything for making it a safe and successful event.
Rick? John?
Well, thanks for everybody that worked on a successful celebration. And the library's been getting pretty good turnouts for their programs in Heritage Hall recently, for the last couple anyway. That's all I have.
All I got is kids are back to school. And Brandon said watch out for them. As the bar owner, I did do 700 sandwiches. We finally got done about 9 o'clock. 2 hours of we got shut down Friday. I mean, I would have been done by 6:30 on Saturday, but that was absolutely miserable Saturday working in that. It was hot. Congratulations, good job on the sauerkraut days for all the committees and all the volunteers. So, Ross. Possible closed session pursuant to Code of Iowa Section 21.5 LI to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation, and that individual's request for a closed session. Rick, would you like to go into a closed session?
I'd like to make a phone call.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I probably had 3 or 4 beers. I bet you I had we had 10 pitchers of water.
Oh, God. That was, yeah, that was hot.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, Dave,
Sandwich
Did
was
that-
perfect as usual.
Dad and kids got everything.
I
The dad that set down next
That was the contractor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just told him he tabled it.
perfect.
Got 300, I had got 300 for Friday, and then Saturday morning. I only did like 150 on Friday, so Saturday morning, I did cut, well, Russell, I cut 700 total. But I had to go out to Fairway and buy 3 more ribbons. I did 700. So I must have cut a little thicker than I did last year.
Were you running out as the day went by?
I don't know.
1 o'clock you decided to leave them?
I had it all already.
Oh, okay.
But, oh my God, some of them beer and seltzer. Oh, God. I had all my cooler full to start, and I had my other cooler, spare cooler completely full too. It's plenty of ice. This just gets. You want to go in closed session? Yes, go ahead, closed session. Move in closed session, so.
Need a vote. Mr. Mayor, you need a
Oh, I'm sorry.
vote. It needs to make a motion,
Yeah,
you
I'm
need to
sorry.
do a roll call vote.
Need a motion to go into closed session. Rick, we requested to go in closed session. Need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
The motion or the second.
Second.
Kevin.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Rick. Nate.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna skip over B. Do I need a motion to skip over B to go right to C?
Yes.
Well, Mark, I still need a motion to come out of the closed session.
I already did that, I think.
I did in closed.
Okay, you got it, okay.
Took place, I
Got
made
it.
a motion,
Thank
and
you.
I believe Kevin seconded it.
Correct.
and it passed.
Thank you.
So I need a motion to skip over B and go directly to C.
So moved.
A motion or a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, discussion and possible action regarding third-party investigation. Mark, would you?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yep.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I'm here to report that I learned of a complaint that was filed by Lisbon City employee Marshall Lasik regarding City Council member Ricky Scott that occurred on May 2nd, 2025 at City Hall. She made her complaint to the city on or about May 9th of 2025. After I learned of the complaint, I recommended to the city that it engage a third party to conduct an investigation of the complaint. As council knows, it approved on June 9, 2025 to engage attorney Amy Reisner with the Lynch Dallas law firm located here in Cedar Rapids to conduct the investigation. Ms. Reisner interviewed city staff and council member Scott as well as the mayor on June 23rd of 2025. I think that was a better part of one-day investigation. After Ms. Reisner completed her investigation of Marcia's complaint, she prepared a written report that was dated July 9th of 2025. And essentially, her conclusions are as follows. She says, I substantiated, and that is in all caps and bold, your complaint. This would be Marcia's complaint. I concluded by a preponderance of the evidence that Mr. Scott spoke in an unprofessional and inappropriate manner to you. While I cannot conclude that it was a violation of the city's handbook because it does not apply to Mr. Scott in his capacity as a city council member, I find the language he used would be deemed abusive. Furthermore, he was not in his capacity as a dog owner since the dog did not belong to him. Rather, I concluded by a preponderance of the evidence that he was there in his official capacity and gave you, Marcia, the impression that you would be in trouble with the city administrator after your interaction with him. I also concluded that he was impliedly directing you to employ a different procedure when dealing with his family with respect to compliance with the city ordinances.
So what's our options?
Well, council can do nothing and move on. What's been stated now is part of the minutes. Another option, if council so chooses, is to give a public reprimand to Councilmember Scott. And if so, someone would then need to make a motion for that reprimand.
Anybody got anything? Anybody want to do anything?
I'll make a motion for a public reprimand.
Reprimand.
Reprimand, yes.
I got a motion, to have a second.
Council, hang on. What do you want the reprimand to say, if anything?
Do you have a recommendation for what that
Well,
reprimand would?
Not necessarily a recommendation, but I can give you some guidance. For example, the motion could be something like, the city and the city council should not and cannot tolerate any abusive language towards any members of the city council, the mayor, or city employees. As such, I move that this council issue a public reprimand against Councilmember Scott for his interaction with Ms. Lasik on May 2nd, 2025, and instruct him that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated, or something to that effect.
Remember all that?
I'm not going to repeat all of that. Yes, I would make a motion that that would be the verbiage used to issue a public reprimand against Councilman Scott.
Councilmember, I think you can say so moved.
So moved.
All right.
You got a motion, to have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Nate?
Aye.
Kevin?
Wait a minute. Hang on, Mayor. Back up. Any further discussion?
Any further discussion? Nate?
Well,
Okay, go ahead, got it.
I'd just like to say that unfortunately our security equipment wasn't working properly, or we would know what it said. It's working good now, so the public should be on notice that whether you're a councilman, the mayor, or a public citizen, you have to treat city employees with respect. It's the state law.
Anybody got anything else?
And it goes for, like I said before, every employee in the city.
Should be every employee of the city. Anybody else? Nate?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Rick?
Abstain.
Motion carries. And adjourned. Mark, I'll talk to you about, before we get
Yes.
right up.
Yep. No worries, Mayor.
You get it, I'll talk to you, we'll get it on the next agenda.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a nice Labor Day holiday.